Now that we've covered one-dimensional and two-dimensional geometry, let's move on to three-dimensional figures. The most important of these figures, not necessarily the most important, but the simplest and the best way to approach the beginning of it is the cube. The cube is the easiest because each of the sides are the same, which makes the formulas for finding surface area and volume very simple. Surface area is merely 6s squared, and that makes sense because there are 6 faces. And surface area is essentially the perimeter, the whole area of that 3D geometrical figure. So in a square, in a cube, you have 6 faces, and you want to find the area of the entire thing. So one face would be SS, S times S squared, that makes sense, times 6, because you have 6 faces. Okay, that's surface area of cube. Next we have volume, S cubed. So S times S, and then we extend it out, and that will be your volume. Okay? In another video, I'll elaborate more on that. Next, we move on to a rectangular prism, which is slightly more difficult. To find the surface area, it's similar to a cube, except it's not all the same in terms of length. So we're going to find one face, length times width. Okay? There you have the area of one face. But in a rectangular prism, you have 2 of the same shape. So this is identical to this. Length times width, length times width. So you're going to have 2 length times width. Okay? And height times width will cover that and cover that. So 2 height times width. And finally, length times height. 2 length times height. And then you'll get all 6 faces for the rectangular prism. Finally, we have the cylindrical prism, or cylinder, and it's very similar to the rectangular prism, except you throw in a little bit of a twist, and that twist is a circle. The circle, the area of a circle is pi r squared, which is denoted here, and the circumference, which we'll use later, is 2 pi r. Okay? So why do we need pi r squared? Surface area, again, is the area of the entire thing. So we have this, and we have what's around it. First, let's take care of what's easy. Here, pi r squared will give you that face. Easy. Multiply by 2, you got this and this. Easy again. This, the part that goes around it, is essentially a rectangle. It's like this, okay? And in order to get that, we need the circumference, which is 2 pi r, times h, okay? And that is essentially the length times width. This is, if you imagine this is a width and this is a height or the length, then this is what results. Okay, that's your surface area for a cylinder. And finally, we have the volume. Pi r squared, the area, multiplied by the height, will give you the volume. And to illustrate this point, the best way to show it is a cup. I don't have a cup, I have a marker. Okay, this is relatively similar to a cylinder. You find the area of this, okay, and as you fill it up with water, you're getting the height. And this filling up of the cup, when you fill it all the way up and you have the whole thing, that is the volume. What is inside this figure, okay? So that's the essential definition of volume. Let's move on to some geometrical problems in the SAT.